Hey Brick, it's time for the interview.
Oh, I'll just start this thing? I sound good, don't I? Yeah?
Action.
Hello, friends. I see you've come here today because you're pretty new to this, and you've been seeing all the F1 posts and memes that your friends have been sharing, and you're wondering why everyone has become a fan of F1 these days. Well, don't worry. Being a newbie is nothing to be embarrassed about. Everyone starts somewhere. You see, everyone seems to be an F1 fan these days, but I've always been a fan.
Hey, didn't you get into F1 like in the middle of last year?
What? No, I was always a Lewis Hamilton fan. I mean, you know, go Lewis, right? Right?
Yeah, no. There's even a picture of you watching your first ever F1 race. It was Monaco. You didn't even watch from the beginning of the season.
Wait. You don't even have any proof. So how are you supposed to know that?
Hey, that isn't even a Ferrari jacket. It's a DHL jacket.
Well, you know what? Hello and welcome to another video on Brick's World. I have to say, fine. I admit it. I'm a complete newbie to this world too. My friends have always been into F1. Well, at least it looks like they grew up watching F1 here and there because their parents were into it, and I didn't have an experience like that at all. I remember going through the group chat, and it seemed like there was a very long conversation going on about F1, and I felt like I was the only one who was completely out of the loop. Like, what the hell was I even reading? Charles Leclerc? Well, Lewis Hamilton, everyone knows Lewis Hamilton, but Romain Grosjean? And what the hell is Valtteri Bottas? I don't think I believe that that's his actual name. He kind of looks like a
Duke WD-40 Jones.
So, after reading about this ragtag group of absolute speed demons, I guess you could say that it piqued my interest just a little bit. I still remember making fun of my friends for watching a bunch of cars going around in a circle. But boy, now that I'm completely immersed in the world of F1, I couldn't be more wrong. So, let's get straight to the point. You're probably wondering, why did every single person you know suddenly become an F1 fan? Well, let me give you the answer. Yup, that's right. The reason for practically anything in this day and age is the pandemic. I know you're about to say, well, Brick, don't you think the sudden boom in popularity of F1 was probably because of the Netflix show? Everyone loves a Netflix show, and everyone's talking about the Netflix show. You know what? Okay, fine. I'll give you that. The Netflix show is actually good television. But as you can see on this graph, yes, I'm bringing out an actual graph. The first 3 years of the show have pretty much the same amount of viewers. But after the pandemic, the numbers had a huge spike, and again in 2022. This last spike was probably because of the 2021 F1 season. Oh man, don't even get me started on the 2021 F1 season. That reminds me, F1 is an interesting sport because if you're coming to this completely blind, the show is a great way for you to get caught up with everything that's going on in the sport, and because of this, it feels like if I talk about something that happened in the past, I could be spoiling you. Now isn't that weird? With any other sport, I could talk about what happened in the last few seasons to a complete stranger and they just accept it as a fact. But because there is an F1 show with real storylines and real drama, with seasons recounting and summing up the events of the F1 season, I really could be spoiling anyone who wants to get into F1 if I just talk about whatever's been happening. So I won't go over exact situations and events, but the 2021 season, ooh, that season is definitely one to forget. Looks like the pandemic really made people sit and stay at home for the first time ever, and really start questioning themselves and the world around them. And I'm sure this is what got people from every corner of the globe to start picking up new hobbies and thinking about new things to do. And the F1 boom might just be directly correlated to that. Going and trying something new is one thing, but staying and really watching races to become a fully fledged bona fide F1 fan is something completely different. So let's get into that. So, we know that the stepping off point for most F1 newbies is Drive to Survive, the documentary.
I like to think it's a documentary, but you know.
It's not a documentary. This is more close to Top Gun than a documentary.
Okay, well, maybe it's not so much a documentary as it is reality TV.
I start laughing at Kim when she's crying because I just can't help it. She has this ugly crying face.
That's right. What better way to introduce the world of high-octane, high-speed racing to the world other than America's favorite garbage TV format? If you thought that the show might show everything that's going on in the F1 world in a completely unbiased and objective lens, then think again. Did you know that reality TV isn't actually real? I mean, look at this. In the end credits, we have Nina Cameron and Tommy Jolowicz. Jolowicz? Whatever. We have Nina Cameron and Tommy Jolowicz as story producers? I mean, I don't really know exactly what people do in television, and I don't know what a story producer really does, but it does sound like they're producing
Making up.
stories. Now, look, I know I'm making a big stink about reality shows not being a very objective look on the subject, like a documentary, but because I saw live races last season and subsequently saw the Netflix show about the same season, let me tell you, they took the F1 season, they took the faces that we know and love, and they added one special ingredient. That's right. The reason why the show has had so much success and was a huge factor in the recent spike in the popularity of F1 is drama. Look, I'm a wannabe storyteller, and I want to tell stories about my life and about topics that really interest me. If I told you about all my experiences without wrapping them up in an easy to digest, interesting story, then you probably wouldn't want to sit through it. I know most people are quick to dismiss the show injecting a bit of drama into the season as a bit corny or being a cheap trick to get views, but I think the show does a wonderful job at it. Now, I don't really watch much reality TV to compare, but I think the formula this show is using really works. Each episode is pretty formulaic in its presentation of the story. There's so much going on in the F1 world that it's hard to break down everything in a way that makes sense. If they were to show everything in the format of each episode centering around a single race, which I thought was a good idea because it would be chronological and would make sense logically, it would still be a mess trying to cover all the teams, drivers, team principals, and everything in between. So they chose to follow this simple formula. Number 1. Introduce the main character and the context around their season. The main character is usually a driver or a team principal, could be anyone. Number 2. Show the challenges they're facing and what they have to do to fix it. So maybe they're not performing too well, maybe they're being compared to their counterpart because each team has 2 drivers, or whatever. 3. End with an appropriate race from the season that encapsulates their current situation perfectly. Yup, it's a tried and true 3-act structure that has been used in storytelling for generations now, and hey, it really works. It becomes so easy to understand different personalities, motives, team cultures, and so much more, all while being very entertaining. They really hit a home run with this show. That's how I feel, at least. Okay. I know the people are just about ready to say, well, Brick, I think there's one really important thing that you're missing from the video. And okay, let me tell you what that is. Another reason for everyone becoming huge F1 fans all of a sudden is because of the boys. mean, just look at all these posts from Ferrari. They knew what they were doing, right? They knew what they were doing, right? But seriously, aside from all of these thirst traps that companies are doing on purpose to try to get in all the thirsty fans out there, choosing your favorite driver to root for and watching all the drivers have so much fun together really makes it so easy to connect to all the people on the show. I mean, these drivers are practically the main characters of the show, right? Well, except for Gunther. Everyone loves Gunther.
How do you sum up your season then this year?
It's one short word. Shit.
But seeing everyone be so competitive on the racetrack and be so chill and fun everywhere else is so great to see. It really gives me the same feeling as one of those reality shows with a bunch of random people living under the same roof and having to live together. These guys look like a bunch of big kids, and comparing this to other sports, which are usually team sports, it's impossible to connect to every single player because sometimes there's just way too many. I mean, in the NBA, there's like 450 players playing in the same league at the same time. Just having 20 drivers in all of F1 makes it so much more accessible for anyone who's trying to get into it, and really gives a feeling of camaraderie that other sports just can't show. Well, maybe it's because they don't really have a Netflix show that's centered around them and has a whole season that shows everything they're doing, but that's besides the point. All the F1 teams also have their own YouTube channels, and you can see your favorite drivers, like the best boy with the real golden retriever energy, Daniel Ricciardo, the GOAT himself, Lewis Hamilton, the Pierre Gasly Yuki Tsunoda bromance, and so much more. With a content ecosystem around F1 and how the sport is set up, it's become so easy to form engaging narratives around all these interesting characters, and I really can't get enough. So, just like you probably are, I'm very new to this, only starting to watch live races around May of 2022. It's actually a great time because I watch it with my friends and we all get together over some drinks and root for our favorite drivers. Somehow, we don't really have the same favorite drivers, but that's what makes it fun. I know I didn't actually talk about the racing, which is probably the point of F1, but there's just so much around it that really appeals to a lot of people and helps them get their foot in the door. Now, I'm a full-fledged F1 fan, and if you're looking to get into the sport so you can finally understand why everyone is falling in love with it, then you're in luck. All you have to do is chill out for a weekend, binge the might I add very bingeable show on Netflix, and by the end of it, you're probably going to be excited for the next race weekend too. So, thank you friends for watching this video. I really appreciate all your love and support. Don't forget to like and sub and hit the notification bell and all of that. And oh, let me know who your favorite drivers are in the comments below. And yes, there is a correct answer. Bye!